Hey y'all, it's Bianca of BiancaRoberts.com, back again with another video. Last week I promised you that I would go over how to pick an apartment locating brokerage. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. So before I get into it, I'm going to tell you some benefits for working with an apartment locating brokerage. In my state of Texas, I have the ability to work directly with an apartment locating brokerage. So what does that mean? That means I do not have to pay MLS fees to be on the local MLS. The MLS, is the multiple listing service. That's everywhere in every state. And basically, the reason why that's a benefit to me is because I have decided at this point in my career, after being in real estate for 17 years, that I no longer want to work with people who want to buy or sell properties. And so signing with an apartment locating brokerage gave me the ability not to be able to pay fees to be on the MLS. Because why do I need to be on the MLS if I'm not trying to help buyers buy homes or sellers list homes? Part of being the MLS does include the realtor designation, but I don't think that's a big deal because, again, what I am doing is just helping people find an apartment. I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. I have no desire to help buyers buy homes or sellers list homes anymore. So benefit number one is I don't have to pay MLS fees because I don't need the MLS. Next, when you work with an apartment locating brokerage like my company has, we have what we call a blacklist. So a blacklist is basically a list of apartments that are on our bad list. They either don't work with us very well, or they don't pay their invoices, or they're not a really nice looking property, or they smell bad. It's a blacklist. So the benefit of being with an apartment locating brokerage is we put together our own list of properties that we just will not send clients to. We're not going to deal with them. And if you're with a regular brokerage, they're not going to have as much invested the way we do at an apartment locating brokerage because that's what we do. That's what our money comes from. When you're with a brokerage where you have to do it yourself, apartment locating is not a big deal to them. So a lot of what I'm describing to you, you will have to do on your own as an independent agent. The next benefit of being with an apartment locating brokerage is what I just described to you, the blacklist. My particular broker has the ability to allow us to get an advance on commissions for properties that we regularly do business with. So that means they know that they will get the money. Sometimes when you refer a client to a property, you'll get paid pretty quickly, like in less than 30 days. Every property has its own particular payout schedule. It can be 30 days after the client moves in, 60 days after the client moves in, 90 days after the client moves in. Working with the brokerage that has a list of properties that they regularly deal with gives you the opportunity to request an advance before the brokerage gets paid. Because it's kind of like they already know this particular property, they already know that they pay on time. And so that gives the agent an allowance or a way to get the money quicker than if they were going it alone and having to wait to get that invoice paid. Next point is the invoices. Apartment locating has something called invoicing. So with invoicing, you have to request payment from the particular property that your client went to. One of the things that sucks about apartment locating is having to wait for those properties, follow up with those properties, and constantly reach out to them about your invoices. So when I mentioned before that we have a blacklist, we also have the good list. And again, a benefit of being with an apartment locating brokerage that specifically that's all they focus on, they'll have some type of system so that you can work on just working with your clients and following up with your clients and not necessarily having to be an admin. That's why I really advocate for finding an apartment locating brokerage. And one of my most popular questions from the people that are in my private Facebook group was, what do I do, or how do I find an apartment locating brokerage? One of the very first things you're going to do is Google. Google is your friend. I would say use terms in your area like apartment locator, apartment locating, rental agency. Look for those terms in your area that may help you find an apartment locating brokerage. Also try Indeed. Any of these systems that are set up for finding employment, you can search the area for real estate in your particular city. Check it out on Indeed. Look and see who's hiring for real estate agents, and try searches that involve apartment locating or the apartment locating niche. Craigslist. Literally, you can go on Craigslist, look at the apartments that are advertised on there, and call the phone numbers that are listed. You may be surprised. You can just say to the person, hey, I am a real estate agent. I'm interested in being an apartment locator. I wanted to know if you could maybe give me some information about what company that you're with. You may find that they don't have an apartment locating brokerage that they're assigned with. You may find that it's like an individual person, but don't give up. There are apartment locating brokerages probably in your area and you're not even aware of it. Join real estate groups. There are many real estate groups out there for new agents, seasoned agents, and just become a member of some of these real estate groups. Introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm a new real estate agent. I decided I wanted to go into apartment locating. Is there anybody in this group from? And then you go ahead and tell them what city or what area you're interested in. And you may be surprised that you'll find some people that are say, hey, I'm in this particular area. The reason that I do not specifically want to promote any one brokerage is, number one, nobody's paying me to be a recruiter. But number two is because I want you to do your own independent research, figure out what kind of brokerage that you want to work with. If you determine that you're going to have to do apartment locating on your own, you're welcome to join my group. I called it the Mavericks on Facebook because I think of a maverick as somebody who's doing things that are different from everyone else. Lastly, I am going to insert a slide here to show you the cities that I absolutely know there are apartment locating brokerages available. Not only because of the piece of software that I use that shows me what cities are available beside the ones that I work in, but I found there's this really cool lady online. Again, I'm not going to promote her brokerage specifically, but she is so cool to me because I think what she's trying to do, and I think she's going to make it, is she's trying to open an apartment locating brokerage in all 50 states. And I've been kind of watching her grow, and I think it's really awesome what she's trying to do. And I just know that eventually she's going to make it. Apartment locating has seen what I call a resurgence. Apartment locating is nothing new. It's been around, but it fell out of favor for a while. And now because of social media and videos like what I'm making right now and companies changing their model, you're going to see a lot more about apartment locating and agents becoming apartment locators. So I consider myself to be what I would say ahead of the curve. Please come back next week. I'm going to start sharing some information about lead generation via social media. And if you like this type of content, please give it a thumbs up, comment below what you think about it, and let me know what else you'd like to see from my channel.